Round here, them guns get the last word.
There's many tweets like this, but this is a good one to start off with. You have Blackheart who is tweeting, please report this worm. And bro spams it like 10 times. And what he is referring to is twitch.tv Fars Bros. Is it Fars Bros, Fars Boys? I don't know. I'm just going to say Fars Boys. Far Boy? Okay, we'll say that. But this is a very notorious cheater. I don't know if you guys remember, but back at the start of season 2, when everything was really chaotic, bro actually popped up in a chat and was complaining about season 2. Obviously, I didn't go really hard on the guy. I didn't wag my finger at the guy and tell the guy, well, I did say, stop cheating, but I wasn't like making a big deal out of it, because what you have to realize is like, you think I could yell at this guy and say stop cheating and then he's going to stop cheating? No. So there's no reason to get worked up, right? But while the guy was here, he was talking about season 2. And this is what he said. Tell them the boycott will never change, and the only way to change the game by the devs is empty the tournament and stop Meat Right and Harada and Murray, because they already took our money. So that was at the point in time when he wasn't streaming anymore. He was like the ghost of cheating, But since then, like 2 weeks ago, right? He's back once more on Twitch and he's cheating. What does this title say? Everybody is a cheater in this trash game. Stop it. And as you can see here, 84 people was watching this. This first stream he did had 1,200, right? That one kind of flew under the radar. But then he did this one with, it was 1,100. But then when everyone on Twitter started to cry and make a big deal about it, that controversy put his views up to 4,000. People getting upset on Twitter tripled this guy's view count. And then in the next stream, it died off a little bit and it's at 2,000. So this guy was a huge part of Tekken 7. Tekken 7, at the very early days, had no cheating problem. But then as the game got bigger, for whatever reason it may be, basically people started to cheat a lot in that game. Fars Boy was like the face of it all. At the time, too, there was also a guy named OK Saving Banks. There was that guy. That guy, the story there is super interesting. OK Saving Banks was really the biggest cheater. He was a huge problem in the Korea scene. Of course, Harada, Bandai Namco, Michael Murray, they did nothing to stop these guys. So the Korean player base took it into their own hands to research OK Saving Banks and figure out who he was. It just so happened that OK Saving Banks was like doing like real life scamming or something like that. And once people started to report him to the authorities, OK Saving Banks disappeared. That was the players taking it upon themselves to deal with a problem that Bandai Namco wasn't. Now, when you talk about Fars Boy being one of the most notorious cheaters as well, and not only was he not punished for all of Tekken 7, but now he showed up again with Tekken 8. Tekken 7 did this massive ban wave of 400 accounts, and at the time, this is something that the developers were doing to have a show of force. Like, we're going to put an end to this cheating problem. But then as it happened, everyone was looking at who actually got hit. And it wasn't Fars Boy. It wasn't OK Saving Banks. It wasn't all of these people who were notorious of cheating. You could even talk about Low Tier God. Now, I know Low Tier God is trying to clean up his behavior in terms of like plugging and cheating and whatnot. But back in that era, he definitely did a lot of it. And you can make the argument of just because he's not plugging anymore, does that mean he is free to play now, or should the developers still step in and take away his access? Something that I want to point out as well, if you look at his name, the main man, this is something that people got upset with as well, right? He's using cheats and has his name titled after the main man. A lot of people feel like the developers not stepping in here is really crazy. Here's the thing about Fars Boy. He's good at the game. He knows how to play Tekken. Unlike other people who cheat. There's other people out there who cheat and they don't know how to play the game at all. Actually, wasn't Fars Boy a tournament competitor at one point in time? Of course he got banned, I believe, but I think he was tournament level. But I think he was exposed for cheating, and instead of saying like, okay, my fault, yeah, I was cheating, and then stop cheating, I think he just embraced the darkest side and was like, okay, I'm just going to continue cheating. My pro career is over. My content career is over, and I'm going to be this, the worst version of myself. What cheats do we use? Auto high?
Oh man.
That was the auto high, I believe. That one right there. He went under that high, and then he came back up with a wild standard too. And some of his skill will make it look very natural. You remember that other cheater we were looking at a second ago? Well, not a second ago, but a little while ago. And he had the see, he did it again. He got auto highs on. The other guy who had auto highs on, he didn't have the skill to come back up with a move. But Fariborz boy, he has skill to come back up. When that auto high triggers, he comes up with a wild standing 2. And I mean, all you have to do is press 2. So it's not like there's execution or something difficult there, right? That's the interesting part with cheats, is that when you have skill, you can kind of mask it a little bit. But when you have no skill, it's so easy to tell. I wonder what made him return, because he's been gone for about a year plus, right? Twitch says Twitch now considers cheating in online games while live streaming a low severity violation. This results in 1-day ban first offense and 3-day ban for subsequent offenses. Repeated violations of Twitch, including cheating, can lead to an indefinite suspension.